The following is a podcast from a qualified senior care provider heard on the Answers for Elders radio show.
And welcome back, everyone, to our final segment in this hour with Rebecca Bomann from SASH Services. And we've been talking about just all the things that you need to know before you sell the house. And I have learned so much, I'm telling you, this hour, and I can hardly wait to close out because I have a feeling these last two are really, really important ones that you're leaving with us.
Thank you, Suzanne. And what we really want to do here is help this to feel doable for families. You don't have to do a big renovation. You don't have to spend $50,000. Everything I've described is very affordable. You can do it yourself, or you can hire someone to do it for just a few $100s. And it makes a huge difference to maximize those net proceeds when it comes time for the sale price. So number 11 is an easy one, but sometimes it's overlooked. And that is, we do want the home to have some really nice scents in it.
Yeah.
And when you live in a home for a long time, you sort of get what they call nose blind. It feels normal. It feels like home. And so we bring in a few outside scents from the store to make it just fresh and inviting. Now, a lot of folks think you should, I'm talking about like the Glade plugins. I'm really not talking about that because those have chemicals that can be really irritating to buyers or people with allergies. I'm talking about things that you can just unscrew and hide under a chair, and they do their good work without being a fire hazard because they've been plugged in for 3 weeks. Apple cinnamon is a really good scent to have, or raspberry. And even the ones from the dollar store that you just peel off the plastic and you unscrew it and pop it open and you hide it in the house in different places. I recommend 2 per floor if it's a 3-story home.
Okay.
And it can be a bowl of potpourri, lots of different things so that when somebody walks in, instead of there being no scent, there's a really nice one, a pleasant one.
So that's why realtors bake chocolate chip cookies when you come into a house.
Yes. And that sounds lovely. But if you have, 40 or 50 showings of a home in a single week, how in the world will you bake cookies every single time?
Exactly.
So, but that is lovely. But having those scents really makes it, it's refreshing. And there's some really easy and inexpensive ways to do that. The last tip, and this is important, and I want to spend a little bit of time on this, is that, home is comfortable. Home is familiar. Home is where your pets have their beds and you have everything. Of course, people want to stay in their home even when their home goes on the market. But here's the thing, is that whenever a buyer wants to come and see the home, if you're still living in it or your senior loved one is still in it, and then you have to make arrangements, you're racing around, getting the dishes done, making the bed, putting the laundry away, wondering if the house is show ready, keeping the buyer waiting. And if there's 8 showings in a single day, you're doing this 8 times. Oh, so stressful. So my 12th tip, if there's any way possible, is to not be in the home or have your senior loved one out of the home during the first 2 weeks of the listing.
Such good advice.
That's the most important part of the listing. That's when the most people are looking at it. They're looking at it on Zillow or Redfin or all the real estate apps. They're flipping through the photos on their phone. They're calling their broker. They're saying, get me into this home. I mentioned earlier on your podcast that we just put a home under contract last night. And Suzanne, we had 84 showings in 1 week. 84 showings. So imagine being that same number, 84 years old. How are you getting up and getting out of the home being disrupted 84 times? And a typical showing, a typical listing, brokers are able to start booking a showing at 8 in the morning all the way until 9 at night. And if each one stays about half an hour, that's 26 possible showings a day.
My goodness.
When we start to tell buyers, no, you can't come here, you can't come then, can't come in the morning, can't come in the evening, you can only come between 3 and 5.
Mhm.
we're essentially narrowing that buyer
Well,
pool.
and it's taking you longer to sell the house too.
Right. And people are discouraged from seeing it because you're not making it
Mhm.
easy for them to come in. A few easy places that, I won't say easy, a few ways that folks can get out of the home during those first 2 weeks. Number one, stay with family for a couple weeks. That is an inexpensive way to do it,
Mhm.
especially if you're due for a visit to see the grandkids or anywhere, or a sister out of state. Another idea is there's respite stays in the senior living communities.
Mhm.
So they don't, if your senior loved one is kind of thinking about moving there anyway, you can just say, why don't we just do a 2-week stay?
Mhm.
It's an affordable rate. You can try it out, see what you think. And it's a safe place then. It's a clean place. It's
Mhm.
full of folks that are their age, and they can maybe go, oh, this isn't so bad.
Well, and here's the other thing that I know, that there are some senior living communities that will let you move in and defer your move-in fees on a pending sale of a home. So
Exactly.
what you can do is move in, early, and more than likely your home will sell within the month, if not
Yes.
sooner. And so it depends on where you are, of course, in the US, but I would say for the most part. Um, and so in actuality, take what you want. That's the other beauty of this. Take what you want where you think is just minimal
Right.
of what you need, and you still have your whole home back home,
Exactly.
or things in storage. So if you find that you get to senior living and you're there a week and say, you know what, I want that separate reading lamp. I should have brought it and I want to go grab it. You have the
Exactly.
ability to do that. And
Mhm.
that's one of the nice things about having that. I mean,
Like
I
a
just
test
wanted to throw
drive.
that in. Yeah.
It's like a
Yeah.
test drive.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And you're absolutely right. And also, moving into one of those communities, you can see, oh, actually, it's not that bad to be in a 1 bedroom because I'm spending so much time elsewhere in the building. I'm in the
Exactly.
theater, I'm in the beauty parlor, I'm in the dining room,
Mhm.
I'm playing cards, and I'm out
Mhm.
elsewhere. So when
Yeah.
folks go, how am I going to live in a 1 bedroom? It's because you're not going to spend all your time there. And you have
No.
to sort of experience that to understand.
Exactly. It's a total mind shift.
It
When
is.
actuality, you're getting more living space than what you had. The difference
Exactly.
is that this, it just gives you a little private cocoon that you can stay in when you feel like you want to be alone and independent, but you have this whole community outside your doorstep, which is so wonderful about senior living. And I
I,
know.
I like to say that it's like a cruise ship on land. So on a
Yeah.
cruise ship, you have this small little room, that
Uh-huh.
basically holds your bed and your suitcase, because you're out eating and dancing and watching shows and sitting up on the
Uh-huh.
deck. And so of course you would never go on a cruise and stay in your room the whole time. And so it's the same thing with a senior
Mhm.
living community. Another option for folks who don't want any of the ones that I've mentioned is there's Airbnbs you can stay in for two
Yep.
weeks that are dog friendly, that are
Mhm.
accessible, that don't have stairs. You can just book a short-term stay somewhere or in an extended stay. And here's the question that I like to ask my clients when we're talking about this is, if I were to offer you $20,000 to stay out of your home for 2 weeks during the first part of the listing, would you do it? Well, of course you would. Who
Yes.
would not take $20,000 for a 2 week stay elsewhere? Well, that can be exactly how much more you make for your home because you're not there,
Yeah.
because you've allowed so many more buyers to see the home,
Mhm.
and your home stays show ready the whole time. It's always perfect. There's no dishes, there's no
Mhm.
dogs. It's just ready to be shown the whole time. And you might not just make 20,000, you might make 40 or 50
Mhm.
more
Mhm.
because you weren't there
Mhm.
and you maximized your opportunity to let buyers really fall in love with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I love that. I love that, that philosophy, because a lot of us think, that we need to stay close or whatever that is. You can be close, but just be away. And I think that
Right.
that's really important, that you're not there, and that you can have, the more people that see it, the more buyers there will be, which will drive up the the price. So
It
that's really
will.
good.
And
Yeah.
you can have the realtor should be stopping by and checking on it anyway while it's being listed. The home is being seen every day by buyers. So it's not going to sit abandoned. And you can
Right.
always have a neighbor check in on it just to make sure all the windows are locked and so forth. So for folks who worry about their home being empty, there's a lot of ways to mitigate that as well.
Yeah.
And what my goal is with every senior client that I take care of, and not just my senior clients of all ages, is I say, I want to make you as much as possible. And I want to give you strategies that make you an extra 5, 10, 20, $50,000.
And you're co-invested in the process. That's how you get paid. So it's to your advantage to get as much dollar for the property as possible.
Exactly. And if you are 85 or 65 and you're selling something, that is probably going to have a pretty important role in paying for your care in your older years. So yes, we want to fight for every nickel. We want to fight for every dollar. And if we can do some of these low cost strategies to get the house ready for market, make it clean. I call it putting the home in its Sunday best. And it makes you extra money. Well, an extra 10,000 is how many more months of care. And so it matters.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I love this philosophy for sure. And certainly a lot of this is worth, considering for so many of our families. So in closing, Rebecca, just give us a brief summary of specifically, what SASH does and where you serve, and also how people can reach you.
So we were founded in 2005 as a blend of real estate, senior care, and social work, which were the 3 backgrounds that I brought into the business to found it, providing seniors and their families with home sale options that are not typical, that are totally designed around their needs. And we provide specialized services that lift the burden of the sale off of the senior homeowner and their family, and also help them maximize what they earn from the home. Very passionate about it, as you can tell. And we've been serving for 17 years almost. And proud to be a part of the elder care community and working alongside incredible professionals in elder care all this time. And people can reach us at sashservices.com or 888-400-SASH, that's 7274.
Rebecca, I am so thrilled to have spent this hour with you. This is important information to each and every one of you, and to all of our listeners. I hope you listen to all 4 segments of this. This is powerful, and it can certainly make a difference in what your home sells for and how you can make this process so much easier, either for you or for a loved one. And Rebecca, thank you so much for being with
Suzanne.
us today.
Answers for Elders radio show with Suzanne Newman hopes you found this podcast useful in your journey of navigating senior care. Check out more podcasts like this to help you find qualified senior care experts in areas of financial, legal, health and wellness, and living options. Learn about our radio show, receive promotional discounts, and meet our experts by clicking on the banner to join the Senior Advocate Network at AnswersForEldersRadio.com. Now there is one place to find the Answers for Elders.